The sideshows are over. The preparations are done. It all culminates to today, where it all starts with a first handshake between President Trump as well as Kim Jong Un in less than 3 hours' time at the Capella Hotel. The stakes are ever higher, as we've been talking about, and expect the unexpected. We're learning this is going to be a one-on-one first conversation between Trump and Kim alongside their interpreters. We could be seeing some surprises, and we certainly saw that last night as well. All the fanfare right behind me when Kim Jong Un decided to make a midnight stroll around the Marina Bay sands and even taking selfies with the Singapore foreign and education ministers. It certainly was a sight to see.
Yeah, it wasn't just all work and no play, I guess, Yvonne, and certainly it's a pretty common, popular trip for every tourist to Singapore to make, right? So it's nice to know that the North Korean leader is not an exception for wanting to see that beautiful view from Marina Bay Sands, from C'est La Vie. They're having a little bit of a night out. I wonder if Dennis Rodman was also part of that entourage. Bloomberg's chief North Asia correspondent Stephen Engle is on location at Sentosa Island, just in front of the Capella Hotel, where this meeting in a couple of hours' time is set to take place. Steve, set the scene for us. Why the very early departures for these leaders?
Yeah, what a night, though. Okay, of course, I went to bed about midnight or so, and so much was happening at the time. But I had to get the rest because today is the big day. It culminates in that face-to-face meeting, as you've just adequately prefaced. We're here on Sentosa Island again, as we were all day yesterday. You can't quite see it. The sun is not up, obviously, yet. It's going to be up about 5 minutes to 7 in the morning, but the Capella Hotel is just behind me in the hill there. And what a night it was for Kim Jong Un, finally coming out of the St. Regis Hotel, being seen in public for the first time and going on that jalan-jalan, as they call it in Bahasa, which basically means walkabout. And that's the key, is Kim Jong Un or Donald Trump going to go jalan-jalan from the talks? How are the talks going to go today? And it's really going to center around the U.S. assurances for Kim's regime security, and for, Kim to give assurances that he is committed, as he's repeatedly said, to complete denuclearization. That is really what those first minutes are going to be about as well, to establish kinds of rapport. And they're going to have talks until the afternoon. And then we're learning that Kim Jong Un has decided he will go back to Pyongyang at about 2 p.m. or thereabouts in the afternoon. Donald Trump will stay a little bit longer. He will have a press briefing in the afternoon before wheels up on Air Force One around 7 p.m. heading back to the United States. So much for the possibility of day two. The reason for this, Mike Pompeo saying that talks had been progressing faster than they had expected. I guess that's a good sign. Sometimes if things are going a little bit quicker, you read into it saying maybe they're not getting along, but it looks as though they're putting a positive spin on this, that they're finding common ground.
Yeah, it seems like it was the North Koreans that kind of made the first move first, saying that they were going to leave a little bit earlier than expected. But when it comes to what we heard from the Secretary of State, Steve, he mentioned about the security guarantees the U.S. may offer and providing perhaps different options.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let me read some of the comments, and I'll put on my old man glasses here because it's dark and I cannot see. But basically, Mike Pompeo saying it's the only outcome that the United States will accept, and that is the CVID that I've been talking about, complete, verifiable, irreversible denuclearization. So they're saying that maximum pressure, if you will continue, even though Donald Trump is not using those terms. They must get some sort of timetable, and that their position, the United States position, has not changed on that matter. But at the same time, Mike Pompeo also saying that they're willing to offer some sort of unique guarantees. Now, we don't know what that necessarily means, but here, let me read what Mike Pompeo also said. He says, "We are prepared to take actions that will provide them sufficient certainty that they can be comfortable that denuclearization isn't something that ends badly for them." All right, so that looks like they are going to be offering some sort of unique scenario. But at the same time, it's also led to speculation that the United States may offer some form of troop withdrawal of troops from Asia. Keep in mind, there's 28,000 U.S. soldiers in South Korea. James Mattis, the U.S. Defense Secretary, says troop levels in Asia will not be on the table. So a couple of mixed signals there.
Yeah, and certainly could rattle and raise some eyebrows among some of the allies of the U.S. as well. But that precursor last night to the summit,
right,
Steve, was really that nighttime stroll made by Kim before some cheering onlookers as well. I mean, he was waving, smiling. What can we glean from his mood last night?
Well, you could glean that he seemed to be in a pretty jubilant mood. He was smiling, as you said, and there were crowds. A little bit odd that they were cheering on Kim Jong Un, but the real star might have been the foreign minister of Singapore, of course, Vivian Balakrishnan, who did I don't know, maybe the first ever selfie, at least with a foreign dignitary with Kim Jong Un there on one of the bridges. And as I said, it's being called Jalan Jalan, and that is the big walkabout. And he seemed to be taking in the sights quite nicely. Hey, maybe it's addictive.
Yeah, we'll see how the selfie game plays out throughout the next couple of days.